Państwu pierwsze wrażenia z Train Simurda 4. Mam nadzieję, że będzie Wam się podobać. Życzę Wam miłego oglądania.
Welcome to the most important seat in the train.
Pierwszy samouczek już zrobiłem, to jest drugi i trzeci będzie
While sitting here, you'll be in full control. Before you think about moving the train, though, let's look at the HUD overlay that's appeared on the bottom right. The heads-up display is a guide to what your train is doing. The main part of the HUD is the speed display. A white bar will appear around the outside to show your current speed, and the red mark indicates your maximum permitted speed.
Dobra, już wiem to.
This is the direction display.
Gdzie?
An arrow will indicate forward, reverse, and neutral directions. This is the power display. A number will indicate what position the power or throttle control is in. These are the brake indicators.
Gdzie?
The exact ones shown will vary by train and will often be visible in the train itself on various gauges. They tell you what's happening in the braking system. The most important one is the BC or brake cylinder. If that's reading 0, then your brakes are released. Anything else, and brakes are applied and you won't be able to move. Every train can have small variations in the HUD unique to the way it works, but they will mostly look the same. As you learn to control new trains, study the HUD and learn how it helps you operate it. If you want to see this again, you can rerun this training module at any time.
Szybciej, o dobra, samouczek skończony. Następny moduł szkolenia. Ruch pociągiem. Mam nadzieję, że mi dobrze pójdzie. Jak tu teraz zasiąść? A dobra, tak jest dobrze. O.
In this training module, you're going to look at making the train move and then bringing it to a stop again.
Okay.
While many trains have different controls and are operated in different ways, there are basically always 3 controls that are common and are required to move the train. The reverser sets the direction between forwards and backwards.
Gdzie?
The brakes are used to slow or stop the train. The throttle controls how fast the train accelerates. In this train, the throttle and brakes are controlled by a combined power and brake handle. We want to move the train forwards, so move the reverser to that position. Pull the power brake handle towards you to release the brakes and apply power.
Jak się trąbi? Telegraf.
Now that you've reached your target speed, you can move the throttle control back to 0. The train will then coast on level ground, and the train will only slow down very gradually.
Jak to sobie zwalnialiśmy tam gdzie można trąbić.
While the specifics of operating brakes vary from train to train, the basic process of stopping is fundamentally the same. Bring this train to a complete stop by moving the power brake handle into the braking range.
Już jest complete stop. Co chodzi?
That concludes this module. Restart the module to learn the steps again, or move on to the next module.
Nie dali mi ruszyć. Dobra. Jak już ogarnę całą grę, to będzie można ze mną zagrać, jeżeli w ogóle się da, mam nadzieję. Obsługa połączeń pasażerskich. Okej. chociaż trochę.
In this training module, you'll be learning basic passenger operations in a BR Class 323 electrical multiple unit.
O, w końcu.
When you are ready,
Dobry.
take a seat in the driver's position. To unlock the control desk, insert the master. Great work. To allow passengers.
Ale dźwięki z daleka.
Now that the passengers have boarded the train, close the doors. Apply power to get moving.
Jak się to... Poczekajcie. Sterowanie. Co to jest? Nie, to nie to. Jak się trąbi. Dobra, nie będę przedłużał.
This train has a combined brake and throttle handle. Apply a small amount of brake to gently bring the train to a stop at the next station. Good work. This time, open the doors on the opposite side.
Dobry. To jakby nie rozkuszę, żeby ktoś już... Chociaż to jest... Dźwięki z daleka.
Close the doors.
No tu nie da się takiego zapisać w samym jeden i się od razu cię teleportuje do kabiny. Dobra, o, dobra.
Reach the next destination unguided.
Nie wiedziałem, że pociągi mają awaryjny bieg.
Great job. That concludes training on passenger operations.
Dobra, już chyba gotowe, I guess.
This module will cover the on-screen overlay, known as the heads-up display or HUD, that is shown when you are in control of a train. Climb up the ladder into the train and then sit in the indicated seat.
Mapa. Nie. O, dobra, menu główne. Mam nadzieję, że mi dobrze pójdzie. To się w ogóle nagrywa. Nagrywa się. Ładnie.
In this training module, you will be learning to operate this EMD F125 Spirit diesel locomotive.
Dzień dobry.
During this brief introduction, you will be taken through the critical driving controls and performing passenger operations. When you're ready to begin, climb aboard. sit in the engineer's seat. You'll now go through the steps needed to take over this locomotive.
No.
You will need to set the generator field switch. This needs to be enabled for the locomotive to generate power.
O kurde.
Switch the front headlights on. Regardless of the time of day or weather, all locomotives must have their headlights on.
No.
You'll need to set the brakes to the correct mode to allow them to be controlled by this cab. We can now begin loading. It is time to depart. Close the passenger doors. The master controller controls both the throttle and dynamic brakes. Dynamic brakes use the locomotive's electric traction motors to generate resistance to reduce the wear of the brake pads. Apply a small amount of throttle. The automatic brakes are controlled with their own handle, but will blend the dynamic brakes in the air brakes. The air brakes will apply braking force to every car in this formation. Now, release the brakes.
Sterowanie. Mam nadzieję, że ten... jak to się nazywa? Sygnał dźwiękowy jest na...
Keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin overspeeding, slow the train using the master controller's dynamic brake range. The EMD F125 is a passenger locomotive manufactured by Electromotive Diesel for the North American market. It's powered by a Caterpillar C127 20V20 diesel engine rated at 4,700 horsepower, and is capable of speeds up to 125 miles per hour. When it launched in 2017, it was the first new passenger locomotive in North America in 15 years. To date, 40 have been produced, all of which were supplied to Metrolink. The F125 features a modern, streamlined body designed by Vossloh España. You are approaching the station. Begin applying a small amount of braking force using the automatic brake to bring the train to a gentle stop.
muszę pojechać.
Nice job. The train has safely come to a stop. You can now begin loading. Good work. That concludes all the basics of operating this train.
Więc to by było na tyle. Dziękuję za oglądanie i cześć.